the SV40 in the polio vaccine and what it did. Here's that clip. Absolutely. The forced sterilization, depopulation agenda they've been trying in China and India is actually being deployed against everybody with soft kill weapons. They're not just trying to sterilize you. They put basically high-tech cancer viruses in most of the major vaccines. There's big studies and news articles. It's always an accident. But these are viruses that can stay intact and deliver their payload for decades. They've been engineered. And of course, it started with SV40, which was out of a monkey that's caused hundreds of new cancers on record. And they believe 100 million cancers were contracted just from the 50s and 60s polio program in the U.S. alone. And back then, that was more than half the population.
Was that the polio vaccine?
Most people's grandmothers and grandpas that died in my country with the cancer explosion, it was that vaccine.
Polio.
So listen, it's not just India, they're killing everybody. And then they can argue, well, there are too many people sometimes in some areas. The point is, it's a covert program. People could be educated instead of being wiped out. And these guys are having 5, 6 kids, but telling us we shouldn't be able to have kids.
But these people go vaccine.
Well, I mean, we know that the New World Order agenda is taking place in countries all over the world, but I would have to agree with you that the story of what's happening to the Indian people is not really being reported. So what other issues are going on in there in India that people need to know about?
Well, one of the things you have to understand, this guy, one of his main backers is in business with Bill Gates. And Bill Gates have this program of vaccinating and giving children polio in India, and there have been many cases where masses of children have received polio just after receiving these polio vaccine by their program. And he's also running a sterilization program within India, which has been going on for a very long time. And we have seen in India a kind of aggressive aggression of forced sterilization, where in India there is a saying that the new biggest industry which is going to grow in India is not going to be the entertainment industry, not going to be the food industry, it's going to be the cancer industry, because there is lots and lots of money which is going to be made from these people who will suffer because of uranium contamination. We have Monsanto infecting people through their own GMO, and then we have Bill Gates and his program of polio vaccination and contaminating with everybody. So cancer is going to become the new one of the biggest industries in that region. So these are the message we have to break this wall of falsehood and bring the truth to the world.
Hi everybody, I'm Raymond Francis, and today I want to talk about something very serious: polio vaccinations. Most people don't know this, but here's the truth. Polio vaccinations cause polio and cancer. There's a myth the polio vaccine has virtually eliminated the wild polio virus in large portions of the world. Since then, 60 different lab studies have confirmed these results. And SV40 has been found in a variety of human cancers. Where did this virus come from? It came from the monkey tissue that was used to make the polio vaccine. Repeated studies show that polio vaccine was contaminated with SV40.
Now we have this video clip here of Maurice Hilleman. This is from a Boston PBS station. It's a bad internet copy. We're going to try to send off the original, but there's also been books written on this subject where he's the SV40 in the polio vaccine and what it did. Here's that clip.
Well, I got an invitation from the Sister Kinney Foundation, which was the opposing foundation, and that was the live virus.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they had jumped on Saban's bandwagon. And they had asked me to come down and give a talk at the Sister Kinney Foundation meeting. And I said, it was an international meeting. I thought, God, what am I going to talk about? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about the detection of non-detectable viruses as a topic. So now I got to have something, that's going to attract attention. So I thought, gee, that damn SV40, that vacculating agent that we have, I'm going to just pick that particular one. That virus has got to be in vaccines, and it's got to be in Sabin's vaccine, so I quickly tested it. Sure enough, it was in there. And
I'll be damned.
so now, so I go ahead and...
So you just took stocks of Sabin's vaccine off the shelf here at Merck?
Yeah, well, it had been made at Merck. It was made at Merck.
You were making it for Sabin at this point?
Yeah, it was made before I came.
Yeah, but at this point, Sabin is still just doing these massive field trials. Okay.
In Russia and so forth. So I go down, I talked about the detection of non-detectable virus. Now, I told Albert...
but at this point, Sabin is still just doing these massive field trials. Okay.
In Russia and so forth. So I go down, I talked about the detection of non-detectable virus. Now, I told Albert, I said, listen, Albert, I said, you and I are good friends. But I said, I'm going to go down there and you're going to get upset. But I'm going to talk about a virus that's in your vaccine. Now, you're going to get rid of the virus. Don't worry about it. You're going to get rid of it. But, so of course, Albert was very upset with me.
What did he say?
Well, he said basically that this is just another obfuscation that is going to upset vaccines. And I said, well, you're absolutely right. But I said, we have a new era here. We have a new era of a detection. And the important thing is to get rid of these viruses.
Why would he call it an obfuscation if it was a virus that was contaminated?
Well, no, because, there are 40 different viruses in these vaccines anyway that we were inactivating. And...
but you weren't inactivating his, though.
That's correct. No, that's right. But yellow fever vaccine had leukemia virus in it, and this is in the days of very crude science. So anyway, I went down and talked to him. And Albert said, well, why are you concerned about it? I said, well, I'll tell you what. I said, I have a feeling in my bones that this virus is different. I don't know why to tell you this, but I've been around biology a long time. I just think this virus may have some long-term effects. And he said, what? I said, cancer.
I love it. I love it. Go ahead.
No. I said, Albert, you probably think I'm nuts, but I just have that feeling. Well, in the meantime, we had taken this virus and put it into hamsters. So we had this meeting, and that was sort of the topic of the day, and the jokes that were going around was, gee, we would win the Olympics because the Russians would all be loaded down with tumors. This is where the vaccine was being tested. This was
right. Right.
So, and it really destroyed the meeting. It was a big international.
Yeah, right.
So it was sort of the topic.
Why didn't this get out in the press?
Well, I guess it did. I don't remember. We had no press release on it. Obviously, you don't go out. This is a scientific affair within the scientific community.
Tested on the Russians, deployed on the American people. And you heard him, 40 plus from the medical doctors we've had on. They're putting similar stuff in the modern vaccines. I wish it was an accident. You heard him joking about how it was a big joke that people were dying from this, and the Russians will be so loaded down with tumors, we'll beat them at the Olympics. This was on the big PBS station in Boston. This is supposedly funny. This is very hilarious. This is psychopathic control freaks, a scientific dictatorship who think they're God. It's eugenics, just like the current White House science czars to sterilize people with their food and water. The Rockefeller Foundation documents we've shown you, all of them. The Planned Parenthood documents we showed you last week, where they said, it's about reducing population. And even if you believe the population is too high, whatever, jacking people's vaccines full of stuff that gives them a degenerative, horrible death later, this is the biggest issue. And again, the book is Dr. Mary's Monkey that gets into a lot of facets of this, and we're going to continue to cover it from different angles, do a special coming up in the next few weeks.
It is a big idea, a new world order.